Hi there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. We love to have you, and if you've always been a subscriber, thank you and welcome. Today I'm showing you guys how I make this very yummy Nigerian smoky patty jollof rice. Yes, I mean, from the color you can see how red and rich this rice is. So I'll be giving you guys step by step on how I make this rice. Stay with me till the end. Thank you. So this jollof rice we're making is for 50 people, so I'm going to give you guys the measurement, everything I use, the amount of rice and stuff. So we're starting with the tomatoes. I think I have about two small buckets of tomatoes here. For you to get a very rich flavorful jollof rice, like a very rich one, you need a very good amount of tomatoes. These big ones like this red, you don't need too much so you don't make your rice soggy, but you need a very good amount of it. So this is my tomatoes, and next here we have our real bell pepper tatashe. So I wasn't able to get the big tatashes in the market because the time I went, it was the peak of the season. So this is my rice. I have 16 derikas of rice. I'm using 16 derikas of rice. So because I'm making this jollof rice with fried plantain, I got some plantain alongside. So this is my plantain, 2 bunch of plantain. And then so these are my peppers. These peppers, they weren't so expensive when I got them though. So these are my chilies, the shombor. So these are shombor. This is like 2 baskets as well, small baskets. And so the green bell peppers aside, I'm making as soon, so that's not with these videos. Here we can see my ginger and my garlic, fresh ginger and garlic. I love to use fresh ginger and garlic compared to spices when I'm cooking. I feel like they have very original rich taste compared to the spices. So yeah, we're using the ginger and garlic. And then this is my spice section. I don't play with spices. So for this, first of all, this is my tin tomato. Because I want my rice to be rich, I'm using this this derika and the half derika. So yeah, your tin tomato are one very essential ingredients to giving you a very nice jollof rice, smoky patty jollof rice. Yeah, so don't play with that. So yeah, I'll be using this too. So yeah, for the spices proper, I have my curry, I have my spicy tea, that's for jollof rice. I have my thyme, I have some rosemary, and I have this mixed spice. It has a lot of ingredients in it, like cinnamon, like nutmeg. Yeah, it would be really good for spicing up my meat. And yeah, that's some not chicken, and then I have chicken flavor because I'm making a full ram meat and goat. So yeah, I had to get extra seasoning cube, and I have salt and bay leaves and my butter. And also now this is my cooking oil. So for the measurement for the rice, I'll be using this King's alone, but because I'm frying the ram meat and the goat's meat, I got this extra. I have this one, so I'm just adding it. So I'm packaging the food from my end and I'm just sending it to the client. I got 50 plates for 50 persons. Yeah, so this would take the jollof rice, the plantain and the ram meat, and then I'll be doing the asun separately. And yeah, this will be for the asun. So yeah, basically this is like what we're using for our jollof rice. Now let's get into making our yummy smoky Nigerian patty jollof rice. So I start off by washing my ram meat and putting it in this big pot so it will be easy for me to stir. Yeah, so I'm going to be seasoning this meat properly. You want to season your meat well. So I just added some onions, and then this is my ginger and garlic paste. I blended them, and I'm just going to be using, like I said, I love to use them fresh. And yeah, this is me adding curry at this point. You want to season your meat very well. It's very important that you have a rich stock for your jollof rice. So I'm adding some thyme, And so this is my mixed spice. This mixed spice contains cinnamon, contains nutmeg. I'm basically just using it to spice up the meat. I'm not using it for the rice. So now I'm adding my seasoning. I'm not measuring this. I mean, around here, yeah, we're used to, just using the seasoning, as the spirit leads. Our ancestors will tell us when it is okay to stop adding. So yeah, you just want to be generous as well with this. Be careful not to add too much, but yeah, just add as much as you think that would be enough for the meat. So yeah, this is me opening up the pot after I let it cook for about 20 minutes. I didn't add water into this pot at all. I just covered it after seasoning it and let it cook. Turn on the gas, of course, and let it cook. So this is me opening it up for the first time, and you can see all the water from the ram is coming out, and I don't think I have to add any water to this at all. I have enough stock to even make my rice. So yeah, I'm just stirring this properly to make sure that all the ingredients are properly incorporated, and yeah, everything is looking good. So although rami doesn't take too much time to cook, just be careful so you don't overcook it. But it's not ready yet. I'm just going to cover it up again and give it some more time. So at this point the meat was cooked and was ready, so I just put up some pan on fire and added my oil, and I added one big chunk of onions, and I started adding the meat. I'm sorry I didn't show the clip from the beginning. I think my battery was low or something. Sorry about that. But yeah, so this is just me taking them out of the pan. They fried and they look okay, so I'm just bringing it out. I'm packing out everything. I think this is like the first batch. I went on with this process for about 2 or 3 times. I might not be able to show all the sets I was putting in this clip, but yeah, basically just fried the meat. And now I'm starting my rice now. So I just added that oil in this big pot, in this very big pot. I used that same oil and then added my onions, and then just the rest of my ginger and my garlic. I like to add ginger and garlic to my oil before frying. And now this is me going in with my tin tomato. Yeah, I added both of them, and for this I want to stir for a while, like stir till I have a very good texture. You want to stir, leave it for a while. Don't rush, don't worry, your jollof rice is going to be fine. So I'm just stirring everything, and now I'm adding my seasoning to this tomato paste on fire. Like I think like this is like a very core process of your jollof rice. You want to fry your tomato paste properly so it doesn't have that tangy taste. So now I'm frying it with my other seasoning. I've added the curry, the thyme, and now I'm adding the rosemary. So I'm going to stir this and cook it up together. So on the other hand, I already boiled my pepper mixture. That's my tomato, pepper, and tatashe, and the chilies. That's the shombo I earlier showed you guys. I blended it and boiled it, and I did that the night before, so I couldn't video that, but I'll be using it in a very little moment. So now I'm just ensuring that my tomato paste is well fried, and now it's looking good. So yeah, that's my pepper mix, and now I'm just adding the pepper mix to it. This is like a very core process of your jollof rice. This way it kills any tangy taste that the tin tomato might have, and then it gives it a very rich taste because it's already cooked with all the seasoning, so it had a longer time to stay up and cook with the seasoning. So at this point I've added my Maggi, that's my seasoning cubes, and my salt. So now I'm adding the bay leaf. So everything is in this is like one very, very rich base. So I'm just stirring it. It will burn, don't be scared. But just make sure you stir it properly, so you don't burn everything. There's no way you can burn everything, right? But just make sure that you keep stirring and be very careful, because at this point it's bringing out bubbles, and they're splashing all over the place. So be very careful. If you can pay attention to this, oh my god, look at how red this base is. This is like very, very important. You want a good jollof rice, you need a very good base. So I covered that up again for a few minutes, and then I opened it up, and the aroma, the flavor, everything is just popping out. So yes, we have a very good rich base at this point, and everything is well fried. So I'm adding my meat stock. So the stock I had from the ram meat I boiled earlier, yeah, I'm just adding that to this mixture. I'm adding it with, the things that are inside. Everything would work all together, but I'm not adding the underneath, of that stock. I don't want them to be too much. So I'm just stirring it up, stir it, and then I'm going to cover this and let it come to a boil. And yeah, this is it boiling. Oof, it's looking good. So now it's time to add my rice. I washed my rice earlier, so I'm just going to be adding my rice to this. This is like all the rice, 16 dericals of rice. So I'm using this very big pot because I don't have so much power, so it will be very easy for me to stir. I love cooking in like big pots, so that the rice is not pouring, it's not all over the place, and good enough. The rice isn't so much, it's just 16 dericals, so yeah, that gives me enough room to stir. So I'm just giving this one last stir and make sure that everything is properly incorporated. You can see how rich, you see the stock, you see everything looking good. And then I cover that cooked for about 20 to 25 minutes, not for long. So now this process is also very important. Now I want to stir this in a way that the oil, everything on top of it, comes down and cooks the rice also from down. So I'm moving it from down up, so there's room for everything up to go down to cook what's down, right? So yeah, this is very important. Sorry, at this point it's getting smoky. Yeah, at this point you know that you're going to have a very smoky party jollof rice. The flavor from this is just something else, trust me. And my rice looking so rich and stuff. So I'm just going to stir this a bit. And then once I see that we have a very good mixture, everything is properly stirred up together, I'm just going to cover it up and allow it to cook a bit more. At this point the rice was cooked, but it was still a little bit hard. So yeah, so this is the rice. You can see it's still a bit soggy, there's still water in there, so it still needs to cook up a bit. But yeah, that tells you we have a very good looking rice. So I'm just going to be adding this sack on top of it. I don't have foil that can cover the entire pot. I would have used foil, but I just washed this new sack. I just got it and I opened it up and covered it. So what I'm doing is I'm not adding water. The steam from the rice would cook the rice itself. I'm not adding water into this. So this is just to cook the rice, soften the rice a little bit more. Like I said, the rice was ready, everything was perfect. We just needed it to dry out a bit, and that didn't even take up to 10 minutes. And this is it, our rice is ready. This rice, oh my god. You would totally love it if you try out this recipe. You would really love it. So come back and thank me. So yes, our rice was basically ready. I'm just stirring and make sure that everything is okay. The ingredients, everything, they familiarized with the rice. And so yeah, this is a closer view to our rice. This rice is so yummy. So at this point I'm just adding the garnishing. I'm adding tomatoes, fresh tomatoes, and some onions. So yes, I'm just mixing this one last time, and I'm going to be taking it off the fire. So I'm just going to be packing this in a cooler and then packing it in the plate, and we're ready to deliver. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for staying with me to the end. Try out this recipe and let me know what you think in the comment section. Thank you. Bye bye.